I am pleased that our cultural traditions remain intact, despite the advent of increased modernism. It is indeed an honor for me to be here with my wife at this milestone occasion of the Fiji Museum's 70 years of operation. As generations have before, we gather here at our very own Fiji Museum to tell the essential part of our Fijian story, one that has at times been overlooked, and we come not just for today, but for all time. To the Fiji Museum Board of Trustees, Madam CEO, and the staff, once again, a big Lalabalavu. Thank you for your leadership in making sure our history, records, and artifacts are properly archived, safely stored, framed, and shared. I pay tribute to all who have been at the forefront, those that have retired, those that have passed on, and who have kept the dream of this museum alive. An important part of this milestone journey has been the donors, benefactors, advisory members who have generously sacrificed their time. I also acknowledge the families who have offered their keepsakes to expand the rich collection safely kept here at the museum. What we see here today goes beyond this physical structure that we see before us. I understand it has gone to changes to the building, and in fact, it is the immeasurable value of 10,000 plus artifacts that weave stories about our history and our past that contextualize our culture and our heritage. Ladies and gentlemen, as patron of the Fiji Museum, I acknowledge the necessity for our work, Fiji Museum. Every object and artwork reframed tells us so much more than what it is displayed. And what is displayed. Our museum helps to tell the rich story of who we are. By knowing our story, we better understand ourselves. We reflect on our museum's 70th anniversary and its role in preserving and showcasing remnants and artworks of our past. We take the time to appreciate and acknowledge the custodians of our history. Each artifact tells us a story from behind the glass cases. They are stored in. Through the curated exhibitions, our Fiji Museum has become a repository of artifacts that are essential for research and education, dialogue, most importantly, inspiration. Secondly, these artifacts connect our generations. And thirdly, they are a bridge between cultures in our multi-ethnic, multilingual, and multi-religious nation. It has allowed people to explore and understand heritage and stories, and many times. It's important to note that they might highlight the interconnected of our Blue Pacific and the wider global community. Since its establishment in 1955, our museum has played an integral role in preserving our nation's history. The National Museum is due to the foresight of the group called the Fijian Society in 1908, and the presentation by a former Governor General, or Governor at that time, Sir William Allardyce, of his personal collection of artifacts to the Suva Town Board. Over the years, descendants of explorers, colonialists, missionaries, and collectors have assisted in the deposit and repatriation of Fijian objects from international institutions. I myself have seen the rich artifacts collected from Fiji in various international museums and university collections. Many of the items I've seen are not available at the Fijian Museum. And it is perhaps time, and I urge the government of the day for a policy for the repatriation of these artifacts, which are the inheritance of all Fijians, to our national museum here. The collections at this museum are a significant resource for our children, students, researchers, the Fijian diaspora, local communities, and members of the public at large. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm informed that the digitization of more than 10,000 museum objects has started. I take this opportunity to acknowledge the funding assistance from the Embassy of the United States of America through its Ambassador's Fund for Cultural Preservation. I'm also informed that this is the first complete inventory of the Fiji Museum's collections since the museum was founded, Lalabalavu. With the young team engaged to carry out this essential yet mammoth task, I'm excited to see the result of this awesome project that will hopefully make the collections available for viewing online. You have my support, and I look forward to the completion of this digitization project. And while we celebrate the Fiji Museum's milestones today, I'm aware of its challenges. There is much that needs to be done to support the dream. Ladies and gentlemen, our museum needs your help. There is much more to be displayed, and we need your support to create the space for it. Over the past 8 months since my inauguration, I sometimes feel that my wife and I now live in a museum at the 97-year-old government house up on the hill. We also have a mammoth task of preserving historical buildings, which are listed with the National Heritage Council, and we require their permission, even for the smallest and minimal work, just to undertake repairs or refurbishment. Fiji's 5 to 20-year National Development Plan enables an environment for social cultural development through partnerships that will reach new and diverse audiences. The milestone achievement by the Fiji Museum is indicative of the many partnerships, donor support, and the continued backing of government to ensure that the standards attained in museum curation and education is benchmarked to international best practices for exhibition. The recent memorandum of understanding between the capital cities of the Pacific to establish the Council of Pacific Capital Cities, signed at the Suva City Council earlier this month with the Australia Capital Territory, Canberra, is another milestone to be celebrated. The years of cooperation includes arts and culture. The Fiji Museum over the years has become a significant tourist attraction, contributing to domestic economy for local vendors and small and micro entrepreneurs. We may not offer the sand, sea, and sun here in Suva, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm confident that our museum has the potential to engage visitors and our local population, and with the rich experience of our heritage and history. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few words, it gives me great pleasure to wish the Fiji Museum Board of Trustees, Madam CEO, staff, and the Tokani of the Fiji Museum a happy and memorable 70th anniversary. And to all a big Naiqama for your commitment in keeping our heritage and the narratives behind every artifact alive. It is also my pleasure to celebrate the occasion through the planting of trees around Thurston Gardens to commemorate World Environment and Oceans Day, as was observed earlier this month. In years to come, we can all return to Thurston Garden, walk under the shade, and reconnect with our history and heritage, housed inside our Fiji Museum. Ladies and gentlemen, may God bless you all. May God bless Fiji. Pinakapagaling.